Galvin, Anthony.
The prestigious European 9 stone 9 belt on the line. Held once upon a time by the fabulous Ted Kid Lewis, also won by Dave Charnley, who we sadly lost a few weeks ago, and back in 1975 by the fine gentleman to my right.
Okay.
It means a lot, Jim, doesn't it, this title?
Time.
Yeah, well, at one time this title was my dream. You didn't expect World Championships back in the 70s, they were a bonus, so this was my dream. So I'm sure it's Mezaache's tonight, although he's already held it.
A terrific belt. We could have a terrific tussle here between the pressure fighter Gavin Rees and the quirky, skillful, good, accomplished Anthony Mezaache, the former holder of this belt who shot Jonathan Thaxton back in Britain. Can Rees, well, stun Mezaache on his home patch.
I like the way Rees has started. I know it's very, very early, but he usually likes to start at a crazy pace. And that's okay, but it's dangerous if you're not taking the same out of your opponent that you're expending yourself. So he's using a little bit of savvy here. He's picking the punches, showing little feints. This is exactly what we want. Get a couple of rounds in the bank early if you can. Because I think over the piece we're going to see some untidy rounds here with the style this fella's got. And those rounds could well be scored against Rees. So this is a nice, sharp, thoughtful start from him.
It's a fascinating one. In and out tactics from Gavin Rees, looking technical behind the jab, not staying in the middle of the ring, looking to box. Mezaache opening up, got that volume of crowd support with him. But Rees is ever so seasoned and experienced, and he's only been beaten once in 37 fights when he lost that light welterweight crown to Andreas Kotelnik.
Mezaache is vulnerable when he's letting his own punches go, because for some reason his chin comes up in the air while he's doing it. He looks a little bit ungainly at times, but the chin comes up. So if he trades shots, there's a good chance.
Oh, good shot for Rees, beautiful, straight down the pipe, hurt Mezaache there. Who was down against John Thaxton, and he was stopped in 8 rounds by Carlos Vinan, a journeyman over in Atlantic City. Is there vulnerability there around the whiskers of Anthony Mezaache?
Just what I was saying, his chin comes up when he's doing work of his own, which is really dangerous, and he paid the penalty. That's a lovely punch, and I like the control that Rees is showing here.
Brimming with confidence here, Gavin Rees. Mixing up boxing with a little brawling too, good body shot as well. This is an excellent start for the visiting champion, with the rock on the front of the Rees shorts. It's clever.
No question in my mind, the opening round.
Looks stunned, doesn't he, Mezaache?
Yep, he was stunned. He came back with a couple of good shots of his own, but did you see the way his chin was up in the air as he lets punches go himself? I think Rees can capitalise on that, but the main thing is he answered that onslaught and had the last word in it, and for me certainly produced the better work in the opener.
His mouth was open, little damage to the nose. He's lost 6 times in 30 fights, Anthony Mezaache. Just seemed that he wasn't expecting that sort of a start from Gavin Rees. He's using intelligence to mix it up. Very early days, of course, but look at that swagger. So relaxed, Gavin Rees, tonight in fight number 38. Coming off that technical draw in his first defence against Derry Matthews. Had a couple of problems with Matthews early on, but was probably getting to him. Nasty damage to Matthews, halted that. But he want to prove something tonight, Gavin Rees. former world champion at 10 stone. Dreams of holding one at 9-9, and he's finding Mezaache with that right hand.
Can't help finding him. I mean, he just stands tall. So the right hand should be working a treat. If he follows, just finishes on that left hook, then could we even imagine an early finish here? Nothing to suggest that, of course.
Might have been in the back of his mind. Gavin Rees coming away to France. We know how difficult it is on the continent. Impressing the judges. Such a home patch for Anthony Mezaache. Friends and family all at ringside. As he said, it's made for him the stage, but is he good enough?
It's very hot in here tonight as well. I don't expect or hope that won't have a bearing on it, but it's not an arena where you want to really go for broke too soon.
Yep, we noticed the temperature when we came in some hours ago. Heat's cranked up, big ring, all advantage Mezaache, but Gavin Rees will have none of it.
Well, a lot to split them, just a little bit scrappy in this round, so in the heading towards the last minute, a good time for Rees just to put the pedal down and show us something here, just to sway the judges one way or the other, because so far, not a lot of clean stuff in this round.
Just annoyed with himself there, Rees. Does know he can trouble Mezaache. The Frenchman with only 6 knockouts on the slate, so not a big puncher, but he tends to get better and warms up as the rounds tick by.
Nice little right hand pick there. This is it. Just producing as we get towards the last half minute, which I think is needed in this round. Yes, excellent. Just put the pedal down when you choose.
Blood from the nose of Mezaache. And just also troubled is Rees in that department.
Well, that was a wild shot. See, there's a nice little feint. They get changed back there from Mezaache. Little feint, but crazy swing. Nice
uppercut, though, from Rees. Just showing his class. You see that notch above Anthony Mezaache, who's disjointed, ungainly at times, tough. Rees' round. Well, some good action and some early drama here in this European lightweight title defence. Bit of blood for Anthony Mezaache and also for Gavin Rees, who's had problems with his nose before. Had an operation, I think, on it.
Yep, called the fight off. I think he gave up one of his titles because of nose damage. So hopefully, again, that won't be a factor.
Could it affect his breathing if this goes long and into the championship rounds, as they say, down the stretch? Could it get tough for Rees? It's been a good start. Certainly the first in the bank, second a little closer. But Jim felt that Gavin Rees had notched that one as well. The white trunks of the challenger, Anthony Mezaache, the 33-year-old, from here, right here, in Clichy, in northern Paris.
Well, Mezaache knows he can't allow what's been happening to continue. So he's ungainly, he's awkward, but he's tough, he's strong, and he's always in great shape. Good body shots. There's nothing wrong with those whatsoever.
And he complains. Look
nothing
at the referee at the corner. What was all that about?
Oh, did the heads come?
Oh, there's damage.
The heads must have come together. I thought he was complaining about the boss. Of course,
yeah, damage to the head. Damage to the head as well. Remember, Gavin Rees' last defence, technical draw. Before 4 rounds, that cut's terrible. Rees is going to go for it here. And he was wobbled there, Mezaache. He's in desperate trouble. Blood is pouring from him. Thought he was complaining about the low blows, but that's a nasty clash. And is this going to be allowed to carry on, Jim?
You know what, a disappointment if it doesn't, because okay, we'll be delighted for Gavin to come over here and go home with these titles, but we don't want it like this. I'm pretty sure Gavin doesn't. Not the referees waved it on, but that must totally change Mezaache's fight plan. He must reckon he has to go for this, take chances.
An area, of course, does tend to bleed quite profusely. They'll give him every opportunity here in France. You'd have thought both of them covered in blood. But Gavin Rees Just tries to put his foot down on the accelerator and drive the shots home.
See, the problem with the injury, even if it's not a horrible injury, that it's above the eye and the blood is flowing into the eye. If he starts being caught by punches because he can't see them, then they're going to have to get him out of there. He's annoyed. He's entitled to be annoyed. Little wonder. Totally accidental. So accidental we didn't actually see it from our angle.
Look at this. It's barroom brawl stuff now. Mezaache is desperate. But in a shootout, you'd fancy Rees. Right hand, he's got the extra power, and again, he looks unsteady on his legs. Mezaache.
Maybe Rees should be tucking up here and just let him have his little throw at the dice. Because he's using up everything in the tank, Mezaache. Don't let one of these big shots land.
Bloody and brutal here in Paris. Hooks are flying in. Mezaache, his game plan out the window because of the terrible gash to his head. And he is throwing everything at Gavin Rees. It's mano a mano, Jim.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just a last-ditch effort. If they don't stop the bleeding, they wonder if this can continue. The doctor's allowing it to go, the referee's allowing it to go. I don't know, maybe if they're just talking to the end of the round. Tremendous left hook there from Rees, but a huge effort from Mezaache. Probably just turned it in his favour.
Draws breath. Huge gulps there from Anthony Mezaache, and what a mess. The red blood in the red corner. And remember, they have to get to the end of 4 rounds before they go to the cards. The technical draw against Derry Matthews, wasn't it?
I wonder if the Mezaache plan will be this can't go 12, so get a couple of rounds into the bank, win the next couple of rounds, give it everything, and then pull the referee over it and get yourself out of there. That would be a sensible plan if it works. Look, have they stopped the bleeding? I think maybe they have done.
There's a little bit of damage on the right eye for Gavin Rees as well. The referees not deducted any points, but a dramatic start nonetheless to this European 9'9" defence for Gavin Rees here in Paris. They're taking their time.
That's where the gum shield was down at the bottom of the steps there.
Well, they were white shorts when he started. Paris's Anthony Mezaache looking for his 22nd victory and hoping to reclaim the European title. Gavin Rees on a roll, though. Hasn't been beaten since March 2008. And Andreas Kotelnik had just too much for him and stopped him in 12. One prize fighter since then. And the European title against Andrew Murray.
Well, I think now Mezaache has settled down now. He's injured, but they stopped the bleeding. So he maybe has a little bit of confidence now that he's back in this as far as the injury goes. He's showing more of a cool head now.
Not known as a one-punch knockout artist, Gavin Rees, but 16 wins have come inside the distance.
He has a surprisingly good jab against people who are taller than he is. We've seen it throughout his career. It's quick, and it's the way he steps in with it and just gets that little bit of length on it. We had to take a couple in return there.
Yep, we saw that against Suleiman Mbaye when he shocked the light welterweight world to become WBA champion. Seemed to be going nowhere despite the perfect record, Gavin Rees. Strange career, but he's flying again now, and he's still only 31. Time left in the Rees story. Nice right hand again. That's the shot that's been giving Mezaache problems.
The fact that Mezaache carries his head high, never brings it down below his gloves. Just the old-fashioned left, right should work a treat. Finish on the hook if we want to be clever. He's not difficult to catch, but don't allow him to lead off. That's when he becomes more awkward.
Back behind the jab, Gavin Rees. We thought he'd come in like a steam train, the pocket aggressor. He's fooled us, but then Matthew Macklin did that last week, didn't he? He boxed quite beautifully for 8 rounds, and he thought he might steam in to Martinez.
Yeah, but exactly, just don't quite know what to expect. That's why I'm a believer not going in with a plan. Just got all the tools ready and just be open for whatever takes place.
And for Mezaache, has he got to keep as cool a head as he can? I mean, there's not that much blood in this round.
I think we have to remember he's boxing at home. If rounds are close, I mean, we know history tells us that he's liable to get the nod. So as long as he's not dominated, as long as he's not making silly mistakes, and that's a round that was tough to score. I mean, I could split them, but, you know, boxing away from home.
Welcome back, and I hope you're enjoying this European lightweight title fight. 2 very good operators, Jim.
Yeah, but you can see that, and they settle back down again, obviously with the blood flowing everywhere, panic setting with both men. So we're settled back down to business now.
That bad cut to Anthony Mezaache in the 3rd round. Remember, now we're in the 5th. Should it be stopped because of that, we go to the scorecards. And Rees should be ahead, shouldn't he?
Yeah, but having 1 point up, I couldn't split them in the previous round. A lot of punches out of range. You know, they're both trying to think their way around here. There's some nice head movement there from Rees. We're seeing some nice boxing from both men. Rees looking a little bit smoother.
Gary Lockett, the astute trainer in Rees's corner, who's revived his career, really, has been calling for straight punches.
I mean, that is the punch that works a treat. That right hand, again, I'll say it again, with a high-held chin of Mezaache. Nowhere to go when you carry your head as high as that. You just have to pull straight back away from the punches, and that's the bad habit that he has.
The crowd cheering every time Mezaache lands a punch, or even half lands. And here they go to rally behind their man. Got a pitter-patter there from Rees to the body. Were they scoring punches?
Well, he's scoring to the head here. Mezaache is forcing things a little bit, but missing, trying to impose himself physically there, but you don't score points for that.
Mandatory defence for Gavin Rees. That's why he's here. He's always been a fighting man since he first laced the gloves on in Newbridge alongside the likes of Bradley Price and Joe Calzaghe, his great mate, of course, who I'm sure is watching it somewhere.
Well, I did say we can expect some kind of untidy exchanges and some untidy rounds. And that's what Rees has to be careful of. He wants to give himself room to work. He throws the more attractive, eye-catching punches. So give himself the room to do that.
Mezaache has been 12 rounds recently, and coming off a first-round stoppage win over Ruben Movsisian here in Clichy. Again, just draws a breath, catches Rees with the right hand, but the Welshman walks through it.
He answered it with 3 of his own. That's the script.
And a smile from the gum shield of Gavin Rees. Probably feels Mezaache cannot hurt him, so he might just begin to walk him down in patches.
You've seen some nice little moves from Rees there, just little feints there as he moves forward. Little feint before he throws the punch there. He's slipping the punch nicely. We're seeing a nice bit of technique from him. Not dominating any of the rounds, which is always dangerous, but his work was better for me in that one. Well, Rees did take a couple of shots in that round, but they come back with 3 of his own any time it happened. So I thought that was a good round for him. Certainly not dominating. They're still up for grabs, well up for grabs. So still a lot of work to do here.
Done well, the corner of Anthony Mezaache, his brother and father in there, patching up the injury to the head, which happened in the 3rd round. If you're just joining us, a brilliant start for Gavin Rees. first couple of sessions. Been a bit closer since, and I guess it's subjective to the three judges at ringside. You've got him 2 up, I've got him 3. They may have it closer.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of thought going into this, a lot more thought than we expected. You know, they're both trying to con each other into making mistakes. So no one's really totally taking charge. I've liked Rees in more of the rounds, picking the nice right hand. Mezaache a little bit clumsy at times, as you can see here, missing a lot. But a couple of the rounds, not a lot in them.
Body shot from Gavin Rees, who 1 or 2 felt looked a little gaunt on the scales yesterday at 9-8. He was quick on and off them, but digging in the punches now. He's fully rehydrated, rights and left. Mezaache in problems here in Rees' own corner. He's trying to fight fire with fire, but does he have the artillery to do that?
Now this guy's tough. Okay, so Rees just wants to take his time, don't burn out here. He wants to land big punches, but don't waste them. This guy can take a shot, and he has terrific stamina. So keep in mind what stage of the fight we're at here. Have a big round, put a big dent in him, but don't empty the tank.
And his tank occasionally does empty, Gavin Rees, around the middle rounds. He goes through lulls in fights. Watch out for that, but smashing action here in Paris in the 6th round.
And Mezaache just forcing himself forward, trying to get out of harm's way, not really finding any snap in his own shots. This is a good little spell for Rees. That was a kind of tired way he was pushed back there, Mezaache. Oh, good round.
Really good session. More blood pouring down the face of Mezaache, but look at his grit and determination. Excellent to see. He wants it so badly, Anthony Mezaache, in front of his own people.
Well, this is the benefit of boxing at home, because when a fight is as tough as this, you know, your home crowd drag it out of you, but this is a big round for Rees. This is terrific stuff. I said no one was dominating. Well, this is as close as we've seen so far. Big punches coming from him.
We'd love to see more of it. Approaching the halfway point. Turning into a tremendous scrap, this really is. Who's getting the better of this 6th? Uppercut from Rees. There's the extra bit of quality. Did he nick it, or do you go for Mezaache? Welcome back. It's been bloody, it's been brutal. It's turning into trench warfare.
I thought that was a terrific round for Rees. I think he put a big dent in Mezaache in that round. I think Mezaache was looking to win a couple of rounds in case it went to the cards. He hasn't done it on mine, so he's just going to have to see if he can turn this around.
I thought that was too tight to split them. I think we've both got Rees up by 3 from different methods going into the 2nd half of this European lightweight title fight. 3 judges at ringside, all that matter, unless one of them can take it out of their hands. What next? Good right hand. Are they going to have a little rest? No, they're not. Straight back to it. Draining, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you can start to get the taste now of how this fight will go if you go tired against this fella Mezaache. I mean, he's tough, he's awkward, he's experienced, and he has a really good engine. He is really good over the 12 rounds. So Rees wants to pick his spots, not waste too much. Good right hand.
Drilling the shots home, Gavin Rees. He's been whipped into shape by Gary Lockett and Renzo Algieri, his nutritionist, who's done a lot of work with Gavin Rees. Good body shots. And a right hand too from Rees. This is good from the Welshman.
No, I just don't think Mezaache has any great plan, any great method of how to go about this. Now, that's a knockdown. No, he's not scoring it well. The punch.
Yes, he is. Right hand. He was bundled down.
I should think so.
Yep, shot did land in the 7th. Mini breakthrough here for Gavin Rees. Didn't look badly hurt, but I tell you what, his legs are a little bit bendy. I think physically it is getting tough for Anthony Mezaache.
He's been caught cleanly with the punches now. That is a sign of tiredness. He was waving Mezaache to the neutral corner. I thought he was waving off the knockdown. Thankfully not. It was a genuine knockdown. Another big round for Rees, exactly at the time we need it.
Cut, hurt. Now it's a question of his spirit, Anthony Mezaache. It will be an uphill battle, and Rees looks totally down. A wonderful right hand, and Mezaache back on the ropes, and Rees has got so much time left in the 7th. He could be on the verge of a dramatic win in Paris. The towel's in. Gavin Rees retains his European 9-stone, 9-belt, and the crowd are silenced in France. Rees performs brilliantly. It's his 36th victory in a really absorbing career. He entertained us again. The brave, brave efforts of Anthony Mezaache end in the 7th. What a fight!
That was a wonderful performance from Gavin Rees. I honestly felt it was a big danger for him of losing his title over here tonight. They laid everything on for Anthony Mezaache. They were sure their man had the beating of Gavin Rees, but he boxed beautifully, controlled boxing right from the off. His punching was always better than Mezaache's. Tremendous performance and put the pedal down just at the right time. Fantastic performance.
Anthony Mezaache played his part, and it was lovely to hear the crowd all clapping around us and appreciating both men's efforts for, you know, a terrific little fight. Only went 7, but it had a bit of drama pretty much every round.
You have to sympathise with Mezaache. The horrible clash of heads in the 3rd round. I mean, that obviously changed his fight plan. Looking at both of them tonight, even up to that point, Rees did look a little bit slicker than he did, a little bit more talented, but we did not know at that point. So that had changed the tactics completely of Mezaache, so he was stuck with it. So he did the best, probably used up a lot of energy he wouldn't normally have used up. But that all said, what a tremendous performance and a tremendous victory from Gavin Rees.
Banged his heart there, Gavin Rees. Rejuvenated, refreshed. What a win on foreign soil as well, taking it out of the judges' hands with a terrific performance. It was never going to be easy, and he did it well.
Well, a big right hand just seemed to be the one that turned everything totally in his favour. He just seemed to come off the ropes and land a huge right hand, and Mezaache seemed to sag back towards the ropes when it landed, and that just seemed to drain him. Every punch from that point on shook him down to his boots. Rees was able to tee off on him. I mean, this is action out in the middle of the ring, not close to the end as yet. But you can see even in these exchanges, the snap and the performance and the power and the punch of Rees.
I tell you, an extra little bonus for the Welsh after their terrific run, the Grand Slam, Kerry Hope last weekend, Gary Buckland ahead, is that Gavin Rees was ahead on all 3 cards. 60-54 on one, 59-55 on 2 others. It's a wonderful night again for Wales.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, magnificent performance. 2 minutes and 15 seconds of the 7th round. Mezaache's corner have retired their boxer, therefore your winner. And still, the European lightweight champion from Newbridge, Wales, Gavin "The Rock" Rees.
Gavin Rees retains his European lightweight title. A very, very classy display from the Welshman. His Welsh boxing revival continues. Reaction from Barry McGuigan coming up in just a couple of moments' time.